The renovations come just in time for the regular season.
The Baltimore Ravens look poised for another run for the playoffs, but the hard work began at training camp. 11 News reporter Jane Decosta is at the Under Armour Performance Center with more.
The sweltering heat doesn't seem to be bothering the players at all. And although it's the third week of training camp, Coach Harbaugh says the team's energy is completely different with the first preseason game coming up this Friday. After early training camp concerns with Lamar Jackson's absence, the Ravens seem to have found their groove. Players like Marlon Humphrey and Rashad Bateman have had an incredible camp, and fans are excited to see how that will translate into the season.
Gets to that point in time in camp where you really need to do that, and it's kind of part of the evolution. You got to take another step. You got to go tackle. You got to play a game. You got to understand the feel and tempo of a game, not a practice.
Seeing his growth, not only as a player but as a person, is awesome too. Just his leadership skills, being off the field, is grown, and then his leadership skills on the field is grown.
On Friday, fans may not recognize all of the starters. Coach Harbaugh will keep regular season starters on the sideline to keep them healthy for September. At Ravens training camp, I'm Jane Decosta, WBAL TV 11 News.
I feel like I'm usually really anxious during the finals week and overwhelmed with how much work I have.
With final projects and exams approaching for Penn State students, many are finding themselves overwhelmed with stress. According to the National Institute of Health, between 25% and 40% of students experience test anxiety, but Penn State has resources that can help these students. One of these resources is Belisario's academic advisor, Nikki Diorio, and the rest of the advising staff. According to Diorio, this semester has been especially overwhelming for students.
I would say the peak has been the entire spring semester, especially compared to fall. We're not really sure why.
An area of anxiety for some students is the Pollock Testing Center, which is a particularly stressful testing environment. While some students don't have a choice whether or not they take their exams here, Diorio has advice for these stressed out students.
I know in particular that the Pollock Testing Center can be a difficult place to be. So using earplugs can be really helpful there because it kind of drowns out some of the noise. Getting enough rest, staying hydrated, it's easy things, but they definitely help.
When finals week begins, Penn State students are encouraged to find a healthy balance between academics and their mental and physical well-being, which of course is the most important thing. Reporting in State College, I'm Jane Decosta. Students can't be reminded of the Willard Building without thinking of this local legend dressed in red. Reporting in State College, Jane Decosta has more. Since 1949, the Willard Building has been one of the most iconic buildings on campus, housing many Belisario College of Communications classes. Standing tall on the Petit Mall, hundreds of students walk through its doors daily, eager to begin class. The Willard preacher, also known as Gary, has been preaching to students outside the front doors about the Word of God since 1982.
I became Christian in August of 1982. And part of my becoming Christian was coming out here and listening to a person named Bro Cope, who was doing this before me. And so he was instrumental in my becoming Christian. So once I became Christian in August, by November, I came to believe that God wanted me to do what he was doing. If he wasn't doing that, I probably never even thought of it.
Cattell, after being inspired by the original Willard preacher while he was a student here at Penn State, is trying to give back to his community and inspire students in the same way he was.
The ultimate goal is Orthodox Christianity. But most students aren't there yet. Most don't even believe they can know who the God is, much less anything else.
Gary is a polarizing figure on campus. Many don't agree with what he is saying, but everyone can agree that he is definitely an iconic figure.
Okay, I think it's interesting that he comes every single day wearing the same outfit, no matter the weather or anything. I don't really listen to what he says particularly, but I just think it's interesting that he's just here every single day.
No matter the temperature, rain or shine, Gary Cattell stands out this classic building and preaches to Penn State students. Reporting live, I'm Jane Decosta. A Penn State student, Victor Wavelet, was arrested on March 1st after he was accused of selling drugs out of his dorm room. Wavelet, who was caught selling cocaine, DMT, and marijuana in his dorm at Beaver Hall, is being charged with 14 felony charges and is being held without bail. According to the probable cause court document, authorities also obtained information from a confidential informant who met with Wavelet and bought drugs from them in January and February. Wavelet is considered to be a risk to public safety, and this case has left students reeling.
You see that and you're just like, wow, what is going to happen to this person after the fact? And just like, it kind of, you have to ground yourself and center yourself and make sure, you see a news story like this, but you also see the effects that, being involved in dealing drugs can have on an individual.
According to the Student Code of Conduct at Penn State, the consumption of alcohol, cannabis, or any controlled substance not prescribed by a doctor is strictly forbidden. Obviously, the illegal distributing of these substances is also prohibited. Wavelet's preliminary hearing was scheduled for March 13th. Reporting in State College, I'm Jane Decosta.